So let's create the animation. Okay, if I hit this play button in the top, let's hit this play button in the top and try to press on our keyboard A or D key. We should play running animation according to what we're doing on our keyboard. Okay, so once we try to press on our keyboard, we should a space key, we should jump, or okay, and we also should play jump animation. So as you can see, we are not playing any animation clip according to what we're doing on our keyboard. So let's do that. Firstly, we need to create those animation clip. To do so, we need this animation tab. If you can find the animation tab, you just have to move over to window. Okay, in the top window, then you have to go over to down which says animation, or control 6. If you hit on your keyboard, it will bring up instantly your animation tab. Also you need animator tab, we will get into that later. Okay, so I'm gonna drag this animation tab over here to create our animation. Okay, so let's create a animation folder first to make it a little more organized. To do so, let's move to assets. Okay, right click on it, create folder. Let's call this folder to animations or animation. Okay, let's create that is empty folder. We will place all of our animation clips inside of it, so that is the reason. So it will be a little more organized and easy to find any changes we want. Okay, so if I go move to pixel adventure 1, and we have this marks too. Okay, sorry, ninja frog we created. This is the ninja frog. So we have all of the sprite sheet. We can see in the bottom, we have double jump, fall, hit, idle, jump, run, wall slide, wall jump, everything we need. So let's create the ideal one first. Okay, ideal one first. So firstly you need to cut it off individually if you haven't done yet. So what you need to do, select this sprite sheet, go to inspector in the right. Okay, and click on this sprite editor. So as you can see, there are multiple sprite. Okay, so what you have to do, if you want to cut them all individually, you need to select sprite mode to multiple. Okay, single to multiple, and choose pixel per unit to a less number. For my case, I just chosen 16. Okay, and if seems blurry, if unconditionally seems blurry, you need to choose filter mode to point no filter, by linear to point no filter. Okay, after doing all of these things, in the bottom you can see apply button, so click on that, it will apply it all. And after it, you have to go over to slice in the top left. Okay, and select grid by automatic to grid by cell count, and count how many columns and rows it has. It has 11 columns, so you can put 11 columns out here and one row. And after doing that, click on slice and then click on apply in the right, so it will cut it off individually. And click on this arrow, as you can see we have all of them cut. Okay, so to create the animation, firstly select the player game object. To create a player ideal animation, select the player game object and hit this create button in animation tab. Okay, click on this create button, and we will move over to main kind of free. Okay, firstly free, then assets. We know, or in assets we created this animation folder, we know. So let's get inside of it, and let's create a subfolder for our player animation. So right click. Okay, and then new, let's call this folder, select the folder, let's call this to player underscore animation. Okay, and let's get inside of this folder by double clicking on it, and let's rename this animation clip to player. Okay, player underscore ideal. This will be the ideal animation clip. So click on save and you are done. Okay, so you need to click on this create button to create your animation. Okay, so click on this, make sure it click on this record button, and drag all of the assets out here in animation tab. So select all of them by holding down shift and move it over to animation tab, and hit this play button to play your animation. So if you take a close look, it seems pretty fast. So you need to select all of the keyframes and move it over to according to you want. So let's move over to 30 and see the result, what's happening. Hit this play button one more time. So it seems pretty quite good now. So I am done. So we created this ideal animation clip. Okay, uh, Now if I hit this play button in the top, the ideal animation will be played right after the game starts, okay, because that is the default one. If you move to animator tab in the bottom, also you will get animator tab with animation as you seen, okay. So as you can see, the ideal animation clip just playing again and again and again. So if I select this animator tab in the bottom, okay, and select this player game object, so as you can see, player ideal animation clip has been added to our animator tab, and it's just playing over again and again and again. So if you don't want to loop it, you need to move over to project tab where you created the animation clip, okay. So we created this animation clip inside of this animation folder, so we will move over to that, and we created also a subfolder of our player underscore animation. So let's get into that, and we created this player underscore ideal animation clip. As you can see, if you want to be looped, you can uncheck this, but if you don't want, then sorry, if you want to loop, okay, check this, leave as it is, but if you don't want to loop it, uncheck this. So it will be unloop, okay. So I'm gonna leave as it is. The ideal should play it over again and again and again when we just standing, okay. So if I'm gonna unplay this one more time. Let's create the other animation as well, which is the running one. Firstly, we need to cut it off individually, so I am going to select that sprite sheet, so which is the ninja frog, and I will find the running one over here I have, and click on this sprite editor. So as you can see, there are multiple sprites as like ideal one, okay. So we need to cut them all individually, so we need to select sprite mode to multiple for multiple sprite, and let's choose pixel pani unit to 16, and to get rid of blurry we need to choose filter mode to point no filter. And after doing all of these things, click on this apply in the bottom, and we are done. So let's cut them all individually. To do so, let's click on this slice in the top left, okay, and select automatic to grid by cell count, and count how many columns and rows it has one row, and how many columns, 3 6, okay, 9 12, so 12 column I guess. So let's put it 12 column right there, and click on slice, and click on apply in the right, okay, in the top right. So now it's cut it off individually. I'm going to select this scene view one more time, and select click on this arrow. As you can see, it's cut it off individually, all of that sprite. So let's create other animation, which is the running one, okay. So select this player game object one more time, and click on this player underscore idle over here, click on this arrow, and click on create new clip, okay. And what we want to do, firstly we will move over to free and assets, okay, and then we know we created this animation folder, so let's move over to that. Also let's move over to subfolder, and let's rename this animation to player underscore walk or run. Let's call it run instead, run, and click on save. Click on this record button, and we need to drag all of the sprite out here, select all of them by holding down shift, and move it over to animation tab, and hit this play button to play your animation. Seems pretty quiet first, so what we have to do, let's make spaces between these keyframes. Let's move it over to 30 as we did for our ideal one, and now hit this play button. Now it seems pretty quite good, so I'm gonna move it to 30, okay. So it's pretty seems good. So now we created the running, jumping, and running and idling, okay. So if I move to animator tab, we can see one animation clip has been added to our animator tab, which is the running one, player underscore run one. You can set them any of them default state by just right clicking on it, and click on this set as layer default state, okay. Now if I hit this play button in the top, the player underscore run animation will be played right after the game starts, because we set it as default, okay. We set as default. So now if I hit this play button, so as you can see, the running is just playing right after the game starts, because we set that one to be default, okay. You can play around with this, and you will get able to things, okay. And other animation, we have to create the jumping one, we know, okay. To create that, let's get that jump animation sprite. So I'm going to move over to assets one more time. So over here we have this jump, and this is the single one, so we doesn't need to choose this single sprite mode to single to multiple, because this is just only one. And click on this sprite editor. It seems blurry. Okay, firstly let's choose pixel per unit 2, as we did for both of those, ideal and running. So let's choose 16, and let's move over to filter mode. Pretty seems quite blurry, so that is the reason we need to choose filter mode to point no filter. Okay, and click on this apply, and we are done. Now it's fine, we don't need to slice it up, because this is the single one. Okay, single sprite. So we need to create that animation clip, which is the jumping one. So select this player game object one more time, and click on over here. Okay, and let's create a new clip. Click on create a new clip. Let's move over to free, then assets, and we know in assets we created this animation folder, so let's move over to there, and also this folder. Let's call this animation to player underscore jump. Okay, player underscore jump, and click on save, and hit this record button to record your animation. Let's drag this sprite right there in animation tab. Now if I hit play, it will play this just one. Okay, and click on the okay, and we are done. So if I move to animator tab, we can see all of the animation clip has been added to our animator tab, the ideal one, running one, and the jumping. Now we are fine. We need to make transition between this now. Okay, I hope you get the idea. So I'm gonna set this player underscore ideal to be a default state. Player should not play running animation clip when the game start. When we try to press on our keyboard a or d key, then we should play this player underscore running animation clip as and if that doesn't, we should not play that running animation clip. So I'm gonna set this player underscore ideal default state. To set this default state, just right click on that and set as layer default state. Now the ideal animation clip will be played right after the game starts. So if I hit this play button in the top, and let's start the game, and the ideal animation clip will be played when the game starts, because we just set it to default one. Okay, default one. So as you can see, ideal animation just clip just playing over again and again and again and again. Okay, so that is the thing. I hope you get the idea how it works. So we need to make transition between these states depending upon what we're doing on our keyboard. So I hope you get the idea how you can create animation clip. So I'm gonna select this animation tip one more time, and I'm gonna move it down over here, because we created all of the animation that we need. Okay, now it's fine. So in the top left you can see file. Okay, so click on that and save it. So whatever you have done to your project, save it, so your progress will be saved, or else you will lose out all of them. So that is the reason you need to save it, or hit just Ctrl S on your keyboard. It also means the same thing. I hope you get the idea how it works. Transition between our animation states. So if we move over to animator tab, sorry, so we can see there are multiple animation clip we created, running, jumping. So when we try to press on our keyboard a or d key, we just moving left and right there. So in that situation we need to play this player underscore running animation clip. So we need to set a certain condition, and if the condition becomes true, then we should play player underscore run animation clip. And when we try to press on our keyboard space key, then we should play this jump animation clip right away. So we need to make transition between this animation clip. To do so, in the left side you can see parameter tab. Okay, layers, we have parameters. So click on this plus icon. Firstly, make transition. To make transition, right click on player underscore ideal to player underscore run, because we're gonna go over to player underscore run animation clip when we try to press on our keyboard a or d key. Okay, so that is the reason. And select this arrow. select this arrow, and you can see has exit time. What does it mean? So has exit time, it's basically it will play as you can see 0.51. So it will play 0.51% of this player underscore idle animation clip, and after it will move over to player underscore run animation clip. So what we have to do, we're gonna uncheck this. Okay, so it will not play, it will go right away to player underscore running animation clip when we try to press on our keyboard A or D key. So it will go immediately. And let's choose fixed duration to uncheck, as well as let's choose transition duration to 0, because we don't want any delay to go over to player underscore run animation clip. As soon as we press or hold down A or D key, we should play player underscore running animation clip. Okay, I hope you get the idea. So in the bottom you can see condition. So we need to choose a condition, in which condition we want to go. So we need to set some certain condition, and if those condition becomes true, then we should play this running animation clip. So in the left side, as you can see parameter tab, so hit this plus icon. Okay, and select this float, the first parameter. Let's call this one to run. Okay, run. And what we want to do, we want to set this parameter to 1, or a greater than smaller number. Okay, so in the right you can see condition. Okay, so click on this arrow and choose this run. Okay, so we want to set this parameter as parameter a greater number with some smaller number compared to some smaller number. Okay, so in the over here run is greater than, let's choose a smaller number like zero point 0.1. So if I set this to 1, and we know 1 is greater than 0.1, so the condition becomes true. And if that condition is true, so it will move over to player underscore running animation clip right away. Okay, so if I hit this play button in the top, so you can choose a some smaller number. Okay, some smaller number, you can test around with that. So if run parameter is greater than zero point 0.1, so if we set this run parameter to be 1, so we know 1 is greater than zero point 0.1. Oh, okay, so the condition becomes true, and if it's true, it will play this player underscore running animation clip right away. Let's set this one to 1. So as you can see, one I try to set this 1, so as you can see it's playing that player underscore running animation clip right away, because we know run, if we set this 1 to 1, which is 1 is greater than 0.1, which is definitely true, the condition becomes true. So that is the reason it's playing right over player underscore running animation clip right away. I hope you get the idea. So we also need to get back to player underscore idle animation clip. Okay, once we are not holding down A or D key, we also need to go back to that animation clip. So if we want to say, so we need to set a smaller number. Okay, so we also need to make transition back to idle. To do so, right click on player underscore run animation clip. Okay, and go back to select on this player underscore idle animation clip, and select this arrow. We need to choose a some certain condition. So firstly, the obvious one I'm gonna uncheck, because we gonna go immediately, and we also need to don't wanna delay. So let's choose 0 and uncheck this fixed duration, and let's go to down, and we need to choose a condition, in which condition we want to go. So with a smaller number we want to set, so hit this plus icon. So in this condition we will choose this less one. Okay, this less one, and we will choose 0.1, which is a smaller number. Okay, so if we set this to 0, and we know 0 is lesser than zero point 0.1. Okay, 0 is lesser than zero point 0.1, so the condition becomes true. When we try to set this run parameter to 0, it will play the player underscore running idle animation clip right away, because we know 0, if we set this run parameter to 0, so 0 will be lesser than zero point 0.1, we know, which of course it's a true condition. Okay, so if I now hit this play hit this play button. Okay, once we try to set this run parameter to 1, it will play the running animation clip. Okay, right away. So just wait. So if I set this to 1, So as you can see, it's playing the running animation clip because the condition is true. Now if I set this to 0, as you can see, the player until animation clip just playing over and again and again, because 0 is lesser than 0.1. You have to set that some smaller number. I hope you get the idea how it works. So we also need to make transition to jump animation clip as well, depending upon if we hold down if we press on our keyboard space key or not. If we do, then we should play the jump animation clip. So we need to make transition from both of these states. Okay, from running, jumping, from any state we want to jump right away. So right click on this player underscore run idle animation clip and make transition to player jump animation clip, and also do the same thing for from player running and animation clip. Okay, so when we are running and try to press on our keyboard space key, then we should jump. Okay, so we should play this jump animation clip. So we need to make transition. So right click on that player underscore run animation clip and make transition to player underscore jump animation clip. Okay, sorry. And we need to choose a condition in which condition we want to go. So for this jump, what we want to do, we want to set a bool parameter. Okay, so in the parameter tab, you can see plus icon. So hit this one more time and select this time bool. Okay, let's call this one to jump. Okay, jump. So this can be true or false. If we set this one to true, so let's choose that condition. So select this arrow, so uncheck this. Okay, uncheck this has exit time. We don't want to delay as well. Let's choose this transition duration to 0 and uncheck this fixed duration. Okay, and in the bottom we have to choose the condition. So we want to set this condition jump parameter to true, and if it's true, it should play this player underscore jump animation clip right away. So choose that condition. So hit this plus icon. Okay, so we will select this for this one jump parameter, and we will set this to true, because and if it's true, it will play the jump animation clip right away. And we also need to choose that condition from running to jumping. Okay, so select this arrow and untick this has exit time as also choose this transition duration to 0. In the bottom we have to choose that condition. So we want to set this condition to true or checked. Okay, so it will play this jump animation clip right away. So let's choose that condition. So hit this plus icon and choose this jump. Okay, jump, and we will set it to true, and if it's true, we know it will play this jump animation clip on right away. Basically checked like this, right, means true. Okay, and if I hit this play button in the top and try to and check this one. Okay, jump animation clip, check this jump parameter to true, basically checked. Okay, so it will play right away this jump animation clip. Okay, so now if I hit this play button, if I click on this jump parameter, basically set this one to true. As you can see, player jump animation clip just playing right over again and again and again and again. So because we setting it to true. Now if I set this one to false, okay, so what we have to do, we are not going back to idle animation clip as well as for running. Okay, so what we have to do, we also have to make transition back to idle or run. Okay, or we will stuck in the jump animation clip forever. So that is the reason. So make transition from jump to idle. To do so, right click on player underscore jump animation clip and make transition to player underscore run idle animation clip, and as well do the same thing for this player underscore run. Okay, so right click on player jump and make transition to player underscore run animation clip, depending upon if we just holding down A or D key or not. So let's choose the condition. Why should we go back to player underscore go back to idle animation clip? Okay, we need to choose that condition. So select this arrow back. Okay, firstly we're gonna untick this has exit time. As soon as we are not moving, okay, or we are grounded, we should not play jump animation clip. Okay, so that is the reason we just untick has exit time, and let's choose this transition duration to 0 and untick this fixed duration, and let's choose the condition. So the first condition, what we want to do, we want to set this run parameter to lesser than 0.1 or some smaller number. Okay, so we know if the run parameter is lesser than 0.1, if we set this run parameter to 0, we know it will play the idle animation clip right away. So if we set this to 0, so 0 is definitely a lesson number point 0.1. Okay, so the condition is true, so it will play that player underscore run idle animation clip. But we also need to choose a second condition, and the second condition is that, so hit this plus icon. Second condition, we will choose this jump parameter to false. Okay, so we want to set this jump parameter to false, basically unchecked. And if it's unchecked and at the same time this run parameter is 0, or we just not moving, so we will play this player underscore run animation clip right away. But when we are not moving and we are unchecking this, basically we setting this jump parameter to false, it will play the idle animation clip. Okay, and we also have to do same thing for our player underscore run animation clip. So select this arrow. Firstly, we want to untick this has exit time, as well as let's choose this transition phase duration to 0 and tick this fixed duration, and let's choose the condition in the bottom. So firstly, when we are just moving, which we want to set this run parameter to 1, and we know let's choose a smaller number which is zero point 0.1. So if we set this to 1, okay, 1 is definitely greater than 0.1, which is becomes true, so it will play the run animation clip right away. And we also need to choose a certain second condition, which what we want to do, we want to set this jump parameter to false. And if it's false, we know it will play the run animation clip depending upon if we holding down A or D key or not, basically we are moving or not. If we do, then we will play a run animation clip instead of the ideal one, okay, when we are moving. But when we are not, then we will play this ideal animation clip because we have chosen that condition. Okay, the run is lesser than zero point 0.1, as well as jump parameter is false. So let's do the same thing. So the second condition, what we want to do, we want to set this jump parameter to false. And if it's false and at the same time if we are moving, then we will play this player underscore run animation clip instead of the ideal one. Okay, I hope you get the idea, because we have chosen both of those animation clip to condition. Hmm? Idle animation clip. So if I hit this play button in the top and check this or set it to true, untrue, false, okay, the animation will be played depending upon what we doing. Okay, so as you can see, when the game start, idle just playing over again and again and again, because we the run parameter by default it's 0. But when I try to set this 1 to 2 1, so as you can see, it's just playing the running animation clip right after it. Okay, so if I now set this to 0, sorry, 0 one more time, so as you can see, it's just playing ideal animation clip again and again. Now if I set this jump parameter to true, as you can see, we are playing the jump animation clip. But when I try to press uncheck this or set this jump parameter to false, as you can see, the jump ideal animation clip just playing, because we are not moving, so that is the reason. So if I set this to 1, okay, run animation clip to 1, as a run parameter to 1, it's playing this ideal running animation clip. And if I set this jump parameter to false, true, as you can see, we playing this running jump animation clip. But when I uncheck this, basically set this to false jump parameter, as you can see, it's playing the running animation clip, because this run parameter is 1, set it to true, so set it to 1. And we know if it's 1, it will play running animation clip right away, because we in that situation we are moving. But when I set this to 0, as you can see, the running animation clip just playing over again and again and again, as you can see. So I hope you get the idea how you can transit between these animation clips with some certain condition. So I hope you get the idea how